So without further ado, please get real loud for the very funny Tyler Ross! Woo!
It's good we're doing here. I know, like you mentioned, but like post-pandemic, there's definitely certain like social activities I will not do post-lockdown, right? Like post-pandemic, I will never go to an escape room. Like we didn't spend a year and a half locked down our homes to be like, you know, it sounds like a fun social activity right now. Getting locked in a different room with a puzzle. That sounds very surreal, awesome. I really leaned into some of my anxieties. Like during the pandemic, I am a classic overthinker. That's me. Where's my overthinkers at? And if you're not clapping, you're probably overthinking if you should be clapping. Certain things I overthought. Hand sanitizer at the entry of everywhere. I thought it was amazing. That's a great thing. I love walking into a place and looking hungry and suspicious, right? There's one place that was really awkward to use the hand sanitizer at the entryway, and it's one of the first places I went to when the pandemic was kind of opening up, and that was the local sex shop near my house. And there's nothing weirder than walking into a sex shop and then immediately rubbing your hands together at the entryway and looking around. And just so you know, it was locally owned, that's why I went to it. It's not one of these like big chain sections. Well, they sold big chains, but it's not one of these, right? And it was like one of the best sales experiences I've ever had too. Like they were very chill. Like I walked in and they're like, yo, you got questions? We're over here. Like I was worried they were gonna have like used car salesman energy going into this like sex shop sales and like thing. I walk in and be like, all right, what's it gonna take to get one of these? And you today. Like, ah. How do you check for credit scores here? No, thank you. I did do a lot of pranking during the pandemic. Y'all into pranks, you little rascals? Yeah? Okay, I was mostly pranking the student loan company I owe money to. You guys did that? Because I'm never going to pay them back. I have what's known as an income-based repayment system. And if you don't know how that works, that's just where you have to pay like a certain amount each month based on the number of inches your mattress is off the ground. So here's what I did, you can do it too. On the repayment website, I renamed my user ID to Tyler's Loans Have Been Forgiven. And I just waited for them to call. All right, not everyone's figured it out. Because when they call, they're like, all right, Mr. Russ, do you have any money this time? I'm like, hell yeah, I'm doing a comedy show in the back of a billiards bar. I have a lot of money. I just forgot how to log in. Can you help me out? And they're like, oh my God, you're gonna pay us back. Let's get you logged in. Your username in our system is Tyler's Loans Have Been Forgiven. And I just say thanks and hang up the phone. Because that's been recorded for my quality assurance. Like they kept calling back, I'm like, why don't you go check the tape? Cindy was very chill the other day. And if you guys try doing that, don't use Tyler, use your own name. Just I don't have a lot of money because I work at one of these Chicago public schools here in the city. Sure, okay. It's tough. I work with younger kids. It's tough because they're constantly trying to figure out how life works. And if you don't know, life's kind of a huge bummer most of the time. Like a 5-year-old said something to me I still don't have an answer to today about life. And just to put context to it, this kid was crying more than I've ever seen a human being cry. It was like a sorority rush week level of tears. And I'll never forget. If you have a better answer than me, let me know after the show. She just came up to me. She was like, Mr. Tyler, no one's making me happy right now. I'm like, how am I supposed to tell? Like, yeah, that's how it's always gonna be. I don't know, download Candy Crush or join a fantasy football league. I really have no idea. That was the other thing. I got really into sports gambling during the pandemic because I have an addictive personality, so I was like, let's roll with this. I do have an addictive personality. It's something I put on every job resume I turn in. Because they know if they hire me, I'm never gonna quit. It was weird. I've always wanted to get into sports gambling, and it's legal here, but I feel kind of lame gambling on an app, right? Like, I just want like an old, like, angry Jewish man to owe money to. That's what I want. Like, I wanted a bookie, I got customer service, right? Like, it's not as cool. Like, I want someone to be like threatening my life as I'm like riding my electric scooter to work every day. Like, I want to be dangerous, but also green at the same time. Is that too much emphasis? I've taken breaks drinking at different points in my life. Addictive personality. I didn't drink for a year and a half during the pandemic. I didn't drink at all during the pandemic. And then I got my vaccine. I'm like, let's try this again. I was like, how's Moderna and White Claw mix? Let's try this out. Right? And drinking can be tough. Like my problem is impulse control. I never know when to stop. Like it's way too easy to get me to take that next drink. Like for example, I know I can't drink gin. It's the one alcohol I cannot drink, and I puke every time I drink it. But someone offered me a shot of gin, and I was like, no. But then they were like, showed me, and it was in a Ninja Turtles cup. And I was like, nostalgia wins. All right. Like I know the difference between like right and wrong, but if someone gave me like a SpongeBob SquarePants crack pipe, I'm not sure what I would say. And like I've taken different breaks, like drinking from time to time in my life. Like in college, for example. When I was in college, I was trying to drink a lot. Like a good night for me drinking would be trying to drink 3 Four Locos in one night. The original sauce too. And I was so bad at drinking that I couldn't even make through 2 years of college. So I wasn't great at it, y'all. I grew up in a family, pretty brave, I know. It's weird because my dad got remarried and had more kids. And what's weird about that is when he had more kids, I was 21 at the time. And at 21, you shouldn't be getting new siblings. You should be accidentally having children of your own like an adult. And he always hits me with this whenever I go home, because I was like, you need to start thinking about having children, because who's going to take care of you when you get older? I'm always like, wow, Dad, do you think we have that agreement? Because if it wasn't for Cindy, I'd have all these loans to pay off, and I don't know what I'd be doing with them. I'm going to tell you guys 2 conflicting things about myself that I'm very proud of. One is I have a motorcycle license. And 2, I love being little spooned. And those 2 things live together, because having a motorcycle license is just the coolest way to be a little spoon. So now, like every time when you see one of these like leather jacket, Sons of Anarchy looking dudes, I'm just like, aww. You're just overcompensating for wanting to be held. Like in my head, all I just hear them doing in their inner monologue is like, how many girls are like 2 things in this world? I like the cold, feel the wind on my face when I'm out there on my hall. And titties from behind. And that's a quick impression my stepdad would like to do. You guys have been really awesome. You guys are killing it. You are a good crowd. Yeah, hell yeah, too much. Take it back a little bit. Let's get out of here on this. I watched every online date or reality dating show during the pandemic. I don't know about you guys. Like I watched Married at First Sight, Love at First Sight, 90 Day Fiance, Love is Blind, The Circle, The Bachelor, The Bachelorette, The Bachelor in Paradise, The Bachelor Winter Games, The Bachelor Summer Games. I'm gonna stop because I respect your times. I honestly feel like that is how they should do like dating now for like Tinder and Bumble. They should just force 2 people to live with each other for a short amount of time as like an internship into love. So here's what I want to do. I want to start my own business that exclusively does short-term leases for new couples. I'm going to call it, is it real estate, right? And just like on those shows, there's going to be a challenge each week that simulates a long-term amount of dating in 1 month. So week 1, one of you has to become a vegetarian. Like that's just, yeah, if you can cook 2 separate meals, you're really in love with that person. Week 2 is the in-law binge watch challenge. And that's where both of your parents come visit you for an entire weekend, but you have to watch 1 season of Mythbusters during one weekend. Because if they don't believe in science, it's like, what are you doing with this person, right? Week 3 is a little tougher, it's a little more intimate. That's where we take your bathroom door away. Figure out each other's pooping schedule. That's important. My girlfriend knows when I'm playing a certain song when I'm in the bathroom, she knows to stay away. It's the Monster Mash. It's gonna be a splash. I'm just kidding. It's Wheels on the Bus. Okay. And then now you're probably wondering, what's the last week? What's the very like ultimate test of love to find out like this is the person for you? And that ultimate challenge is where we're just gonna put a baby in your apartment. We're gonna see if the 2 of you want to own a kid together one day. And you might be wondering at this point in the joke, where am I gonna find all these random infants I can put in apartments across the country? Well, I already told you, I work for Chicago Public Schools. So I don't know. But if that doesn't work out, I'm going to start my own separate side business where parents can rent out their children to new couples. And of course, I'm going to call this business Airbnb. Yeah, what up,